So you know how sometimes life feels like a puzzle, and you're just trying to put the pieces together, but someone keeps knocking them out of place. That's how it was for me in fourth grade in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. I was 11, just starting to figure out who I was, what I liked, and who didn't like me. My name was Luka Varga, and I was trying to be the kind of kid who could stand up for himself, even if it meant getting into trouble. I had friends, I had hobbies, and I had a pretty good idea of right and wrong. But then there was this one teacher, Mrs. Giovanna, who made everything feel like a game of chess, and I was always the one who got checkmated. Mrs. Giovanna was the math teacher, and she was the kind of person who smiled like she was holding a secret, but her eyes always seemed to be watching. She was hyper-religious, and she had this way of talking to people that made them feel like they were being judged. I wasn't anti-religion, I was Jewish, and I respected people's beliefs, but she saw me as the devil. Every time I stood up for myself or for someone else, she would turn on me like a switch had been flipped. She would call me names, make me do extra work, and give me looks that said, "You're not welcome here." The worst part was that she didn't just target me. She also had this bully in her class, this kid named Milo who was always getting into fights, always making fun of people, and always being the favorite of the teacher. I tried to help Milo with his math, but he would just laugh at me, push me, and call me names. Every time I tried to stand up for myself, Mrs. Giovanna would make me pay for it. She'd make me do more work, treat me like I was a mistake, and act like I was the problem. I felt like I was stuck in a loop, and no matter how hard I tried to break free, she was always there, holding me back. One day, it all came to a head. It was gym class, and Milo had pushed me to the floor again, just like he had 100 times before. I was so angry I didn't think straight. I had a cast on my arm from a broken bone, and I tried to use it to hit him, but he just laughed and pushed me harder. I tried to fight back, but the gym teacher stopped me, and I was sent to the principal's office. When I got back, Mrs. Giovanna was waiting for me, and she didn't even bother to hide her anger. She called me the devil again, and she made me do extra work for the rest of the week. It felt like the world had turned upside down, and I had no idea how to fix it. I sat in my room that night, thinking about everything. I was 11, and I had never felt this kind of anger before. I had always tried to be the good kid, the one who could solve problems without getting into fights. But now I was tired of being the one who got punished for standing up for myself. I had to do something, and I had to do it fast. I started thinking about all the things that Mrs. Giovanna would hate, and I realized that she was always using her school email to communicate with parents and students. She was always the one who got to make the rules, and I wanted to show her that she wasn't the only one who could play that game. So I started looking up all the online psychic services, the tarot readers, the medium websites. I made a list of every single one I could find, and I started thinking about how I could use them to get back at her. I knew she would be against anything that had to do with the supernatural, with the occult, with anything that wasn't her way of doing things. I wanted to show her that she wasn't the only one who could control the story, and that she wasn't the only one who could make the rules. I spent the next couple of weeks planning everything. I made sure that I had the right information, the right names, the right passwords. I signed her up for every single service I could find, all using her school email. I watched her reactions, saw how she got more and more nervous, how her confidence started to crack. I made sure that I never got caught, that I always smiled at her, that I never let on that I was doing anything. I even started helping Milo with his math, but I made sure to give him the wrong answers to make him fail, to make him feel the same way I had felt when he pushed me around. It wasn't easy, and I knew that I was taking a big risk. I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing, but I knew that I couldn't keep living like this. I couldn't keep being the one who got punished for standing up for myself. I had to do something, and I had to do it the way that made the most sense to me. I had to show her that she wasn't the only one who could control the story, and that she wasn't the only one who could make the rules. In the end, it worked. Mrs. Giovanna started to act differently. She got more nervous, more anxious, and more frustrated. She started to talk to other teachers about the extra email protocols, about how she needed more control over her communications. I watched her from a distance, seeing the way she struggled, the way she tried to regain her power, but it was too late. The damage had been done. I had shown her that she wasn't invincible, that she wasn't the only one who could make a difference. I never got caught, and I never let on that I had done anything. I smiled at her every time we saw each other, and I made sure to act like everything was okay. But inside, I knew that I had done something that changed everything. I had taken control of my life, and I had shown someone that I wasn't the one who had to be punished for standing up for myself. I had proved her right, not in the way she wanted, but in the way that mattered most. I had made her see that she wasn't the only one who could control the story.